Hi, I'm Lindsay, and welcome to the Poise Geeks Power Pause, where I help you improve your posture in everyday activities. And I have a guest here today, Lucille, who I'm going to help with her posture while she's holding her camera. So I'm going to let Lucille introduce herself and explain to you what she does, and then we'll get into some tips for holding the camera.
Hi, I'm an amateur wildlife photographer. I photograph mostly birds. I started this hobby about 4 or 5 years ago when I retired, and it's been a wonderful experience, but it's not without some aches and pains. I have a Nikon Z9 and a Tamron 150 to 600 millimeter lens. And when I put it up to my face, it's like holding a 6 or 7 pound baby, or maybe a 7 or 8 pound baby, to my face. So it gets quite heavy after a while out in the field.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy.
Okay. Yeah.
So, what would be helpful is if you just shared what are some of the main challenges you have with posture or having any sort of pain when you're taking photos for a long time.
One of the most recent pains is with my left wrist holding, when I hold up the lens, it starts to ache after a while if I'm uh, in the field observing a bird and there for more than 5, 10, 15 minutes. Another thing that sometimes happens is I start to have neck pain because it is 7 or 8 pounds that I'm holding up here. And occasionally I have upper back pain.
Okay. So I'm just going to watch you pick that up, and I'm going to make a few suggestions about what
Okay.
you can do, and this might help some of our viewers who also take photos or who might watch birds with binoculars. We've got a pair of binoculars here too, so we can demonstrate it be kind of a similar uh, strategy for using those. So
Hmm.
can you go ahead, stand to the side here, and just go ahead and lift your camera. Okay, good. And there's some good things happening here. So one thing that I want to show that's might be helpful to a lot of photographers, and bring the camera down again for a second, is Lucille, when you're bringing that camera up, what's working really well, I think, is you're bringing that camera right up to your face. So what we see happens with a lot of people is they start to bring the camera up and they actually bring their face to the camera and end up here. They get very focused on what they're looking at, and the face comes way forward, bringing the neck forward, the shoulders forward, and that can create a lot of neck and upper back tension. So can you demonstrate how well you were lifting that camera? Or that's very good. Yeah. And so there you can see Lucille is bringing the camera to her. She's not just bringing herself toward the camera. So what I would say next is when you bring that camera up, just make sure that you're not tipping back like this to support the weight. Because what happens is the weight of that camera is going to go right into your lower back if you're kind of sitting in your lower back like this. So see if you can just move your arms and bring it up. Good. Good. And that just brought you a little more forward here. That's very good. Uh, so that you're a little more balanced as you're holding it.
Hmm.
And I wonder if you were holding it for a while, if that actually might help your wrist a bit, since you're more balanced, you're more over your feet, if that's going to help you support that. So you can bring it down again. And the other thing I want to point out that that's always helpful if you're lifting something heavy is just to be aware of your feet as you pick it up. So as you lift the camera, try not to lean back and be aware of the feeling of your feet on the ground. If it's something heavy like this camera, you may even feel the weight go into your feet. If you start to lean back, you might feel the weight go into your lower back. So can you feel your feet a little more? You
Yes,
focus on your feet.
yes, yes.
And what if you go back to that old habit of just leaning back a little? Tell me, does that feel different when you lean back?
Yeah, there's more pressure on my lower back.
Yeah, right.
I
And
feel it right away.
right. And then come back so you're over your feet. Good. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
You can bring that down. Yeah. So you can, next time you can try those and then see how it works while you are doing this for a long time, right? And that'll
Yeah.
be a good test. The other thing I just wanted to mention or ask is when you take photos, do you breathe?
No, because I'm afraid that my breathing will cause a vibration in picture taking.
Yeah,
And so I tend to go,
right.
and I hold my breath when I'm
Yeah,
taking a bird, or especially a bird in flight. I'm not breathing at all.
yeah. And so that might actually make sense for like that moment you're about to take the picture that you hold your breath so you're really, really still. But let's say while you're getting set up, you're following the bird. That could take a little bit of time. And if you hold your breath during the whole time, it might make you feel really stiff. And that also might create some neck, shoulder, back tension.
Hmm.
So just think about like look around a little bit through your lens and just remind yourself you can breathe while you're doing that. And then you go, oh, I see a bird. At that moment, uh, hold your breath just for a second to be still. Great. And were you able to do that?
Yeah,
You could breathe a little
yeah.
bit while
But
you're
it's
looking?
a very good point because I do hold my breath and I didn't realize that I was.
Okay, good. So stiffness is also a form of poor posture, right? So it's not just slouching, but also if we're really stiff. And breathing goes hand in hand with having good posture, not being stiff. So it's a good thing to think about, no matter what you're doing, especially if you're doing something really focused, like looking through a camera lens. Okay, so we're almost done here. I just wanted to pick up this pair of binoculars and just show that this would be similar to looking through a camera, just a little lighter than the camera. But when you're picking up the binoculars, you want to think of bringing them to you instead of you going to them. Really important to think about because, it's a little disorienting. You bring them up and suddenly, whoa, you're seeing much farther away. So can you have that awareness of your body where you are and not sort of make a big movement, but just let your eyes refocus to look through the binoculars as you bring them up to your face.
And if I may add,
Uh-huh.
you spot the bird first, then you bring the binoculars to your face.
Yeah. Thank you. Good.
Because
Yeah.
you can search a long time looking in the binoculars.
But it gives you kind of a tunnel vision, I guess. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Well,
So try to spot the bird first, then, well, that's what we do in photography. We spot the bird first, or we try to.
and then you bring it up.
Yeah, and then we bring it up.
And then you're not searching around without your peripheral vision.
Yeah.
That's a great tip. Thank you.
It's a birding tip.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If you have any suggestions for future videos, I am happy to hear them. And please share your comments, your requests below this video. Feel free to like this channel if you want to follow it, and or visit my website and send me a message about any requests or suggestions that you have. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day.